Welcome to SheRa's healing place. The door is open. Come on in. Today, we're talking about the power of the breath of life, the foundation to being the architect of your own life. Let's get started.
Okay, let's just dive right in. Welcome back to The Explainer. I'm honestly so glad you're here. Go ahead and just take a moment to settle in, because today, man, we are exploring something that is incredibly profound, but at the same time, totally accessible. We're going to unpack this ancient built-in superpower that yes, you already possess. It doesn't need any special equipment, there's no expensive gym membership, no external validation required. It's quite literally the very essence of your existence. And once you master it, it changes absolutely everything. Just take a look at this powerful, black, ancient Egyptian imagery we've got here. We're looking at a central figure in deep meditation, right? And she's radiating this incredible energy from the Ankh at her chest, entirely surrounded by the scales of Ma'at and the Eye of Horus. This absolutely beautiful guide is going to be our roadmap for today. We're going to journey through the hard biological science on one side and the actual practical application of this wisdom on the other. It's really where ancient tradition just seamlessly meets modern neuroscience. I always love framing it this way. What if your absolute most powerful tool for transformation was literally right under your nose? You know, in our crazy, fast-paced modern world, we're always searching outside of ourselves for solutions. Solutions to stress, overwhelm, anxiety. We're hunting for that newest hack or that fancy new app. But actually, the truth is, your breath is the ultimate biological solution to modern stress. It's always with you, just waiting to be tapped into. Section 1. The Science of Conscious Breathing, your internal superpower. You know, before we can really master a tool, we kind of have to look at the why and understand the biological mechanics behind it all. So notice the core scientific pillar we're highlighting here, the parasympathetic system. Now, as you probably know, this is the part of your nervous system that's responsible for resting and digesting. And here's the magic. Conscious, deep breathing sends a literal, instant message straight to your brain to activate this exact system. The very second you take a conscious breath, you are actively reducing stress and anxiety on a real chemical, neurological level. It's pretty amazing. Think about it like this. It's a super powerful concept. Your breath is basically the command line to your body's operating system. It's the most direct way you have to hack and command your own energy. When you get stressed, your body literally feels unsafe. But by consciously shifting your breathing, you instantly signal safety back to that biological operating system. You're basically just grabbing the steering wheel of your own biology. And if you look closely at that scarab beetle symbol in ancient Egyptian iconography, the scarab is all about transformation, rebirth, and renewal. When you pair that with the phrase transformation by choice, the big takeaway here is that reclaiming your power, it isn't an accident. No, it's a highly conscious decision. And it's a decision you get to make with every single breath and every single thought. All right, so let's quickly recap the science of this superpower so we've got a solid foundation. Number 1, conscious breathing reduces stress and anxiety instantly, thanks to that parasympathetic nervous system. Number 2, it acts as a direct communication line, signaling safety to your body's operating system. And number 3, it lets you reclaim the personal power through continuous conscious choice. Okay, so now we understand the biological anchor of this superpower. Moving into Section 2, the cleansing breath practice, from theory to mastery. Okay, so let's shift gears here. We've got the theory down, right? So now it's time to actually move into mastery. Now, there are 3 physical mechanics for what we call the cleansing breath. First up is diaphragmatic expansion, which just means changing where the breath goes in your body. Second is full oxygenation, making sure the breath is actually doing its biological job. And third is the incredible flexibility of the practice itself, meaning you can do it absolutely anywhere. So let's actually walk through this together, interactively. All right, let's begin. Wherever you are right now, just pause. Seriously, just clear your mind for a second. And as you see the words on the screen, I want you to take a slow, really intentional breath in with me. And as you keep pulling that air in, really focus on that diaphragmatic expansion. Try to feel your belly expanding outward, kind of like a balloon. You know, we hold so much tension in our chest, just taking these tiny, shallow breaths all day. Instead, I want you to send that air deep, deep down into your center. Keep filling up. Make sure this breath is remarkably deep and incredibly full. What you're doing right now is full oxygenation. Right at this very second, the sheer depth of your breath is actively signaling your nervous system to just calm down. You're hitting the body's biological override switch. Okay, and now just let it out. Exhale nice and slowly and completely. As you release that breath, just recognize that you literally just commanded your operating system. You just successfully signaled safety to your body. You just proved all that science we were talking about earlier, and you used nothing but your own internal mechanics to do it. Beautifully done. Okay, let's bring the energy back up a bit. Notice the figure we've got sitting so peacefully right in the middle of that busy, bustling marketplace. This perfectly illustrates our third point: practice anywhere. You do not need a silent room. You don't need a fancy meditation cushion to use this. You could be in a crowded grocery store, stuck in gridlock traffic, sitting in a stressful meeting. It doesn't matter. This simple tool is literally always at your disposal. Section 3, Architect of Your Destiny, Reclaiming Your Power. And this realization really brings us to the final and honestly, the most empowering resolution of our explainer today. I want you to consider this profound quote from the source material, because it really just hits the nail on the head for our ultimate goal. Stop being a pawn and become the architect of your destiny. When you don't control your breath, you're stuck in a constant state of reaction, right? You're essentially just a pawn to your environment, to your stress, to your immediate impulses. But the exact moment you take a conscious breath, you elevate yourself out of reaction and you step right into intentional creation. So, as we wrap up this explainer on the science and practice of the breath of life, I really want to leave you with this thought. The power is entirely in your hands, or, well, rather, in your lungs. With your next breath, are you going to choose to be a pawn, just blindly reacting to the world around you? Or are you going to choose to be the architect of your destiny? Because the choice is entirely yours.
Thanks for tuning in to SheRa's Healing Place. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Visit my website, SheRasHealing.org, where you will find ascension services that I custom design with your unique concerns in mind. And get my book, From the Inside Out, a roadmap for cultivating 5D living. It's on Amazon.